Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Thursday, November 16th, 2023. Today we're going to recap the college basketball, NBA, and NHL games from yesterday. Look ahead to today's games in each sport. College football, Thursday night football. Tonight we have golf, MLB awards, news and notes, and best bet. All right, college basketball. We'll go over the results from yesterday very quickly and look ahead to today's games. There's not many games today, but there's a lot of neutral site games that we have to get to that start soon. Virginia Tech over Campbell 60-44. Seton Hall over Albany 91-71 or 96-71. Denver over Nichols 91-85. Dartmouth over Westfield State 79-61. Buffalo over Rob Wesleyan 89-83. Delaware over Delaware State 78-67. Cleveland State over Canisius 71-61. Kennesaw State over Kaiser 101-55. BC over Richmond 68-61. Columbia over Sunny Delhi 105-60. Louisville over Coppin State 61-41. Fairleigh Dickinson over St. Peter's 71-70. Princeton over Duquesne 70-67. Charlotte over Utah Valley 62-45. SC upset over East Carolina 83-81. Ohio State over Merrimack 76-52. Central Michigan over South Florida 68-63. VC over Radford 73-50. Binghamton over Loyola Maryland 63-57. George Mason over Cornell 90-83. Evansville over Southeast Missouri State 76-57. Bethune over Trinity Baptist 104-63. A&M Commerce over Science and Arts 113-63. FIU over Houston Christian 83-74. Louisiana over Louisiana Christian 107-56. Longwood over Maryland Eastern 80-61. Southern Miss over Xavier Louisiana 76-45. Illinois State over Eastern Illinois 69-61. Nebraska over Stony Brook 84-63. Rutgers over Georgetown 71-60. Number 19, Texas over Rice, 80-64. BYU over Southeast Louisiana, 105-48. Tennessee State over Portland, 75-65. Northern Arizona over Seattle, 62-60. UCLA over LIU, 78-58. Nevada over Pacific, 88-41. And Fresno State over Morgan State, 87-68. Okay. Today's games, 11:30 on ESPNU. Charleston, Vermont. The Myrtle Beach Invitational from the HTC Center in Conway, South Carolina. Vermont by 3 is my projection. Wait, is that right? I think I meant to put Charleston by 3. That wasn't right. And where does Charleston play? TD Arena. All right, I'm going to see something. I just need to see, so it's a 2-hour drive from Charleston, about 100 miles from a travel standpoint. So I did do a half add-on for Charleston, so it's 3.5. The projection. And that's exactly what the line is. Charleston by 3.5. So talk about irony right here. 145.5 is the total. I'll go over. 1:30 on ESPNU from Charleston, St. John's, North Texas. My line is St. John's by 15, and it's only 5.5 totals. 136.5 LA with St. John's bounce back spot after the Michigan loss at home. 2 o'clock, St. Catherine, Bakersfield, we can skip. Myrtle Beach Invitational, St. Louis, Wyoming. My line is St. Louis 17.5, and it's 2.5 and 149.5 LA with St. Louis. Charleston Classic on ESPN2 at 4 o'clock, Dayton, LSU. I have Dayton by 20, and it's a pick'em in 133.5. I'm going to take Dayton minus 108. I can't believe Dayton's pick'em. Maine Northwestern State from Jacksonville at UNF Arena. My line's Maine 9.5 and a 6.5, 141.5. I'll lay to 6.5 with Maine. Wichita State, Coastal Carolina, Myrtle Beach Invitational. So technically a home game for Coastal. My line is Wichita by 13. It's 9.5 and 145.5. I'll lay to 9.5 with Wichita State. Jaguar Classic, Denver and SIU Edwardsville. I'm just going to check really quick to make sure I got these lines right. No, I did not. Oof. Edwardsville's number I got right, but not Denver. My line is Edwardsville by 17, and it is only 2.5 and 152.5. I'm laying the 2.5 with Edwardsville. Next one we can skip Rhode Island College and Brown. That's at 6 o'clock. 6:30 ESPN2 from Charleston, number 6 Houston at Towson. My line is Houston by 25, and it's 21.5 and 135.5. I'll lay the points with Houston. ESPNU Oklahoma State to Bonaventure. I have Bonaventure by 9, and it's Oklahoma State by 3.5, total 135.5. Give me Bonaventure plus the points and plus 126 outright. Lindenwood Air Force. It's the Air Force Classic lines. Air Force 4.5, and it's 16.5 and 130.5. I'll take Lindenwood plus the points. All right, next couple we can skip. They're all 7 o'clock games. North Greenville, the Citadel, Sunny Enoda, Lehigh, and Felician Manhattan. Bryant BU. My line is Bryant 13.5, and it is 6.5 and 138.5. I'll lay the points. NJIT and American. My line is American by 26, and it is American by 9.5, total 136.5. I'll lay the points. Midway Tennessee Tech we can skip. Presbyterian North Florida is next. My line is Presbyterian 1.5, and that's what it is. Total is 146.5. I'll take the over. Furman Liberty from Conway. That's the Myrtle Beach Invitational. My line's Furman by 5. And it's Liberty 1.5, total 143.5. Give me Furman plus the points and minus 105 outright. Wright State, Indiana. My line is Indiana by 19. Big Ten Network game. Obviously 10.5, 154.5. I'll lay the points. Cal State, Fullerton, UCF. My line's UCF by 9. And it is 9.5 and 138.5. Oh, that's a good one. I don't feel good about it, but I like the under. Texas Southern Virginia, ACC Network. Mine's Virginia 28.5. And it's 20.5 and 130.5. I'll lay the points. La Tech, UL Monroe at 7:30. My line's La Tech 9.5. And that's what it is in 138.5. So a couple of these lines I got exactly. I'm going to take the over. I don't feel super about it, though. 8 o'clock, A&M Corpus Christi and Texas Tech. Mine's Tech 25.5. And it's 24.5 and 139.5. I'll take the over. Alcorn State, UAB. My line's UAB by 16. And it's 17.5 and 151.5. I don't love the play, but I like the under. Chicago State and Southern Illinois. My line's Southern Illinois by 17.5, and it's 15.5 and 139.5. I'll lay the points. Valley City, North Dakota, we can skip. Next up, Nichols, South Alabama, Jaguar Classic. My line's South Alabama by 10.5. And it's 5.5 and 138.5. I'll lay the points. Jackson State, Tulsa. My line is Jackson State by 3. I have to reset some projections here. Tulsa 10.5, total 145.5. Give me Jackson State plus the points. When are they finally going to win a game? Granted, they've had a hard schedule. Texas Arlington, New Mexico. My line's New Mexico 22.5. And it's 14.5 and 147.5. I'll lay the points in New Mexico. Missouri, Minnesota. Big Ten Network. My line's Minnesota 10.5. And it's Missouri 2.5, total 149. Give me Minnesota plus the points and plus 114 outright. Northwest University, Idaho State, we can skip. From the Barclays Center on ESPN2. Auburn, Notre Dame. Mine's Auburn 15. And it's 14.5 and 142.5. Oof. Over. UMass Lowell, Arizona State. My line is Arizona State by 9. Pac-12 Network game. And it's 7.5 and 146.5. I'll take the over, too. Omaha, William & Mary. Air Force Classic. Obviously, I have to change this projection to Omaha by 1 because St. Mary's is not home. And it is Omaha 1.5, total 144.5. This is going to be another over. From Charleston, Utah, Wake on ESPNU. My line's Utah by 11, and it's 4.5 and 147.5. I'll lay the points at Utah. North Dakota State and Montana. At 10 o'clock, I have Montana by 9. And it's 7.5 and 136.5. I'll take the over. Don't feel strong about it. 11 o'clock, Pac-12 Network, Montana State, Cal. I have Cal by 21. It's 13.5 and 144.5. I'll lay the points. And last but not least, at midnight, Niagara, Hawaii. I have Hawaii 21.5, and it's 13.5 and 126.5. I will lay those points as well. Okay, now we'll move on to the NBA. We will recap the games from yesterday, and then we'll have 2 games tonight. Alrighty, Mavs over the Wizards, 130 to 117. Knicks over the Hawks, 116-114. Celtics over the Sixers, 117-107. Bucks over the Raptors, 128-112. Magic over the Bulls, 96-94. Suns over the Timberwolves, 133-115. Kings over the Lakers, 125-110. Cavs over the Blazers, 109-95. All right, 7:30 NBA TV, Nets Heat. Lions Heat, 12.5 total, 223 and a 20th. And it is 3 and 215.5. That is so low. It's like Jimmy Butler not playing or something. That's ridiculous. I'm laying the points in Miami. And then NBA TV, Thunder Warriors. I have Thunder 8.5 total, 225 and 9/10. Draymond suspended, no Curry, and it's 2 and 226.5. I'm gonna lay the 2 with Oklahoma City. Okay, now move on to the NHL. We have games to recap, and then we will look ahead to tonight's busy slate. Flyers over Hurricanes 3-1. Oilers over the Kraken 4-3 in OT. Avs over the Ducks 8-2. Wow. And the Canucks over the Islanders 3-4 or 4-3 in overtime. All right, we have an afternoon game on the NHL Network. Ottawa and the Red Wings from Avicii Arena. And that is in Sweden. So that's crazy. Ottawa's favored in this game, it looks like. -122. Red Wings +102 over under 6.5. Overs -142. Unders +116. Red Wings +1.5 is -20 cents. -1.5 is +180. I'm taking the Red Wings at +102. 7 o'clock, Golden Knights Habs. Vegas -205. Montreal +168 over under 6.5. Overs +106. Unders -130. Vegas -1.5 is +120. Montreal +1.5 is -144. I like the over. Devils Penguins from Pittsburgh. Pens -132. Devils +110 over under 6.5. Overs -130. Unders +106. Devils +1.5 is -215. Pens -1.5 is +176. I think this is where Pittsburgh's winning streak finally comes to an end. They passed the Devils in the division. I know they've won a lot in a row, but can they really sustain this? Pittsburgh needs to be. I know are they rightfully favored here? Yes, but it should be closer to pick 'em than this. I'm taking New Jersey +110 to end the Penguins winning streak. Coyotes Blue Jackets. Arizona -125. Columbus +104 over under 6.5. Overs -122. Unders even money. Coyotes -1.5 is +195. Blue Jackets +1.5 is -235. I'm going Columbus at home +104. 8 o'clock ESPN Plus and Hulu. Lightning Blackhawks. Lightning -200. Chicago +164 over under 6.5. Overs -124. Unders +102. Tampa -1.5 is +116. Blackhawks +1.5 is -140. Tough one. Neither team is really impressed, obviously. I'm going to go with under 2.5 Blackhawk goals at +106. Canucks Flames. Flames minus 140, Canucks plus 116, over under 6.5, overs minus 118, unders minus 104. Vancouver plus 1.5 is minus 5, Calgary minus 1.5 is plus 168. I saw a report that Calgary's open for business. Vancouver's red hot, and I think they're on a winning streak of some sort. Oh, no, they've only won back-to-back, so they must have lost recently. The hottest team in the NHL right now is the New York Rangers. I mean, you could argue Boston as well. But, and then my Stanley Cup pick of the Dallas Stars are red hot too. But I'm taking Vancouver plus 116. They're on fire. 10 o'clock Isles Kraken. Kraken minus 118, Isles minus 102, over under 6.5, overs plus 110, unders minus 134. Isles plus 1.5 is minus 255. Kraken minus 1.5 is plus 205. That's a hard one. I'm going to go with the Kraken at home at minus 118. 10:30 Panthers Kings. Kings minus 132, Panthers plus 110, over under 6.5, overs minus 132, unders plus 108. Panthers plus 1.5 is minus 10, Kings minus 1.5 is plus 172. I like the Panthers outright plus 110. And then Blues Sharks. Blues minus 210, Sharks minus or plus 172, over under 6.5, overs plus 106, unders minus 130. Blues minus 1.5 is plus 116, Sharks plus 1.5 is minus 138. I'm going to go with the over at plus money. All right, college football. We have a couple of games to go over, and then we only have one game tonight, and it's an ACC game. So we are looking forward to that. And then we had, obviously, Maction last night. Ohio over Central Michigan, 34-20. Miami of Ohio over Buffalo, 23-10. All right, on ESPN tonight at 7 o'clock, BC Pitt. My projection here is Boston College by 6.5, total 51.5. I didn't realize that Pitt is 2-8, but they're favored in this game. Are you freaking kidding me? -3, total 45.5. That wide receiver injury on Boston College is so bad that Pitt's favored. Are you kidding me? I know it's a rat line. I'm taking Boston College plus 3 and plus 126, but this is not going to be in best bet for sure. All right, Thursday night football, the best Thursday night game of the season so far, not counting opening night because little did we know about Detroit at the time. And plus, we didn't have the Chiefs at full strength that night either. So tonight is Bengals at the Ravens from Baltimore. My projection is Ravens by 5, total 42 in the 10th. A lot of big names aren't playing. Cincinnati, no T. Higgins, no Sam Hubbard. Baltimore, no Ronnie Stanley, no Marlon Humphrey. And those two Baltimore players are big losses, or else this would have been Ravens by 7. And this line is 3.5 and 46. Under. No Ronnie Stanley is a big deal, and I think no Hubbard is also a big deal, but I think Hendrickson is playing, so that should give him some opportunity. Higgins, Humphrey's a wash from a corner receiver standpoint, but I think 46 is a high number, so give me the under. And this should be a really good game. Obviously, I took the Joe Burrow at 17-1 to win MVP. So, Ravens money line, I feel like would be a smart, if you want to do a same game parlay, Ravens money line and the under. If I wanted to hedge my Joe Burrow bet, Ravens money line under. And maybe one more thing. Okay, now we'll move on to golf. We have a leaderboard to talk about. And that is the RSM Classic. Your leader right now at the score 3 under is Russell Knox. Tied for second with 2 under is Tanner Gainey, Kelly Kraft, Jason Hadley, Stefan Yeager, Ricky Barnes. Tied for 7th with 1 under is a pretty big group. MJ Daffy, Matthew Neesmith, Brandon Wu, Alex Bailey, Kevin Tway, Dylan Lingworth, Zachu Dang, Eric Cole, Martin Laird, Kevin Chappell, Matt Kuchar, Brendan Todd, Matthias Schwab, Davis Love, Matt McNeely, Scott Harrington, Kevin Roy, Peter Quest, Trevor Werblow, Ben Carr, Ryan Gerard, Ben Coles, and Austin Smelderman. Tied for 30th at even. Will Gordon, Ben Martin, Carson Young. Which one? Carson Young. Robbie Shelton, Ryan Palmer, J.J. Spawn, Josh Teeter, Mark Hubbard, Sung-Hoon Kang, Luke List, Zach Johnson, Francesco Molinari, Nicholas Echevarria, Adam Schenk, Ludwig Aberg, Tyler Duncan, Cam Young, Corey Connors, Andrew Landry, Robert Streb, Kyung Gu Lee, Patton Kazir, Andrew Novak, Grayson Sieg, Brian Harmon, Max McGreevy, Davis Thompson, Chris Kirk, Paul Haley, Dylan Fratelli, Peter Malnati, Nate Lashley, Sangil No, Jonathan Bird, Adam Long, Maxwell Ford, Martine Trainer, Michael Glidgick, Justin Sue, Fred Biondi, Wesley Bryan, Jacob Solomon, Doug Ginn, Vincent Whaley, Hayden Buckley, Taylor Montgomery, Keith Mitchell, Dylan Wu, Charlie Hoffman, Jason Duffner. So that's the biggest tie I've ever seen in a leaderboard. 50 people. Tied for 80th at 1 over. Ryan Moore, Justin Lauer, Harrison Endicott, Zach Blair, Sean O'Hare, Cam Champ, Stuart Sink, Brandon Gay, CAU, Grayson Murray, David Ford, Rafael Campos, and Jacob Tilton. Tie for 93rd at 2 over. Jonas Blix and CT Pond, and Grayson Chalmers is 95th with 4 over, and then the rest have yet to tee off at this point. All right, MLB awards. The Cy Youngs were announced last night. Obviously, the 2 winners were the deserving winners. We did talk about a little bit yesterday about guys on teams that underachieve winning awards, as in Cole and Snell and underachieving teams who both ended up winning the Cy Youngs respectively in both leagues. Blake Snell had 28 first-place votes. And then the other first-place votes went to Logan Webb and Zach Gallen, who come in second and third respectively. Blake Snell had 204 points, Logan Webb 86, Zach Gallen 68, Spencer Strider 64, Justin Steele came in 5th at 31, Zach Wheeler 6th with 28, Cody Senga 16 points, and then Corbin Burns with 13. So that's your top 8 in the Cy Young voting. And then the 2 people that voted for Gallen and Webb respectively, Jordan Bastain of MLB.com out of Chicago voted for Logan Webb, and Barry Bloom of Sportigo in Arizona voted for Gallen. So that was a homer bet, or a homer pick. And then unanimously, Garrett Cole wins in the American League. That surprised me. I did not think Garrett Cole would be unanimous. That's stunning. But hey, he was the best pitcher in that league this year, and it's harder to win a Cy Young in the American League than in the National League, in my opinion, only because the better offenses usually reside in the American League, and the better pitching usually resides in the National League, although the National League Cy Young, I think you could argue, is more competition. So unanimous of 210 points, good for Garrett Cole. Sonny Gray comes in second with 104 points. Kevin Gossman, third with 82. Fourth, Kyle Bradish with 39. Fifth, Luis Castillo with 23. Sixth, Zach Eflin, 19. Seventh, Pablo Lopez with 11. George Kirby at 8. Framber Valdez, 9. Chris Bassett at 4 points. Valdez at 6. Kirby at 8. Felix Bautista had 3. And then Chris Martin had 1. So a couple of relievers in there. I can't believe everybody voted for Cole. It's appalling, but he does deserve it. And I thought if you asked me more likely to be unanimous, Garrett Cole or Blake Snell, I would have said Blake Snell. But personally, I thought that Garrett Cole was going to have 28 first-place votes, similar to Snell, or 27, somewhere in that realm. But what's crazy to me, how could Aaron Judge not be unanimous last year, having one of the best seasons ever, and Garrett Cole be unanimous this year in what was an awesome year for him, but I just didn't expect him to be unanimous. Maybe that's just me trying to defend one of my favorite players in the game, and Aaron Judge, but and Garrett Cole's one of my favorite pitchers too. Obviously, they're both Yankees, so of course I got to support them. So yeah, Garrett Cole unanimously wins AL Cy Young. Good for him. MVPs tonight. In the American League, it's Shohei Ohtani, Corey Seager, and Marcus Semien. And in the National League, it's Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, and Ronald Acuna Jr. I think Ohtani wins, and I think he'll win it unanimously. And that is what Aaron Judge should have been last year, the unanimous American League MVP. And then Acuna, I think, might win unanimously too. But I think there's a possibility that people in Los Angeles will try to vote for Betts. So, I'm going to say Acuna will get 28 votes for first place. And I'm going to say Ohtani's unanimous despite missing the end of the season. Okay, now move on to the news and notes for today. The A's move to Vegas got approved as the owners greenlight Oakland's relocation to Vegas. Wow. That is sad for the community of Oakland. Sad for the fans. But hey, sometimes moves can do you better. And sometimes not. I feel like it did the Raiders better. So that's the case for the Oakland Athletics move being a better situation, because I feel like it did the Raiders better a little bit. So I do think that it could very well do the Athletics better as well. So the Vegas site won't be ready until 2028, though. Apparently, and the lease is up in Oakland until next year. Shohei Ohtani prefers 3 teams, according to ESPN's Jeff Passan. He's expressed affinity for the Dodgers, the Rangers, and the Red Sox. The Rangers makes a lot of sense for him. They need a DH type of player, and they also need pitching. But he's not pitching next year, obviously. So, do the Rangers really need him? No, but it's a good fit. The Dodgers don't need him at all. They need pitching, and Shohei can't pitch next year. And the Red Sox, let's face it, that's pretty much his Anaheim situation, except with more pressure to win. So I don't think he's going to land with either of those teams personally. I mean, would I be shocked if he landed with one of those 3 teams? No. But I think there's another team that is an Ohtani destination that he may go to. The Giants, the Dodgers, and the Padres are all in on Blake Snell. Makes sense. I think Blake Snell is going to be in high demand. I think the Dodgers makes perfect sense for him. The Padres obviously just had him, so it would be smart if the Padres re-signed him. And then the Giants obviously makes sense because his old manager went there. A Nicholas Castellanos trade is unlikely as executives believe that Castellanos won't be moved due to a hefty contract. That makes sense. The Giants are interested in Matt Chapman as he can reunite with Bob Melvin. And then the Blue Jays still hope to bring Chappie back. Makes sense. And that's why Snell to the Giants makes sense too. I think the Giants are going to be players. John Heyman says he'd be very shocked if Cody Bellinger does not sign with the Cubs, Giants, or Yankees. I wouldn't be shocked if he went somewhere other than one of those three teams. I think the Astros are interesting for him. I think some other teams could be interested, maybe even the Rangers. Who knows? Red Sox. They're just spitballing at this point, but I could see it. The Dodgers are high on Yamamoto as they're among the most interested teams in him. They make sense for him. Absolutely, they do. I'm going to do my off-season predictions show tonight. I'm going to drop it. All right, some NFL stuff. The Browns to start Dorian Thompson-Robinson against the Steelers on Sunday, barring a last-minute change of heart. As the Browns announced that Deshaun Watson is out for the season as he'll be having surgery for a broken bone in his throwing shoulder. That's insane. I cannot believe that he has broken bone. He showed signs of life last weekend in that comeback against the Ravens. Now he breaks the bone in his throwing shoulder, and bam, he's out for the season. What a disaster of a trade for the Browns. It was a disaster at the time, and it's worse now. This is going to potentially go down as a worse trade than the Rudy Gobert trade for the Minnesota Timberwolves in basketball. Because at least the Timberwolves have Anthony Edwards. I mean, who can you say the Browns have that could salvage it? Myles Garrett? Hell no. Watson's not even going to throw a pass for the rest of the season. The Browns are finishing in last place in that division. I'm telling you that right now, guys. Last place. Meanwhile, Justin Fields is set to return after a 4-game absence against the Lions, so that's good news for them. T. Higgins out tonight, as we talked about, and same with Sam Hubbard and Marlon Humphrey and Ronnie Stanley. Mac is losing the Patriots locker room as the vast majority of players are done with Jones in mid-2-8 season. That's not surprising. He's just been terrible this season, and I think it's obvious at this point that he's not a franchise quarterback. I'm surprised you weren't hearing these stories with the Giants situation about Daniel Jones. But I think the injury probably masked that. And the fact that they made the playoffs last year has masked that. I mean, you're hearing it with Zach Wilson on the Jets. But nothing about Daniel Jones. So that's good if you're Brian Daboll, I guess. But it's not good if you're Brian Daboll is if your owner says, hey, the greatest coach in NFL history is going to be fired. Let's get him. And the Giants should not even consider Belichick. I mean, I think Bill is not a good coach anymore, honestly. He reminds me of Tom Coughlin in his last 2 years with the Giants. That's who he reminds me of right now. And we'll see what happens with the Patriots there. this story wants to make me roll my eyes. James Harden says once the team works out the kinks, it's going to be scary, and that is from Chris Haynes. My goodness, James Harden. Are you delusional or what? The Clippers signed Daniel Tice after he was bought out by the Pacers. So the Clippers get another big man. Klay Thompson, Rudy Gobert, and Josh McDaniels, or Jaden McDaniel, docked $25,000 by the league for the involvement in the Draymond scuffle. And then Draymond, obviously, 5-game suspension. And he is to lose over $769,000. Bradley Beal did not play last night against the Timberwolves as the Suns' Big Three debut was delayed yet again. Giannis didn't play against the Raptors last night with the Cavs trade. Kelly Oubre update as police say surveillance footage has yet to show Oubre being hit by a vehicle at location he reported. Huh. That's weird. And then there's a realistic expectation that Oubre could be back in November, 2+ weeks. So that's crazy. He might be back before December. Steph's not playing against the Thunder. We talked about that already. RJ Barrett day-to-day with the migraine. He missed last night's game against the Hawks. First time the Knicks won a game without RJ Barrett this year. Granted, it was only by 2 points. Against the Hawks were pretty good. Hawks are a good team. So that's actually a decent win. So they won in Atlanta twice, once without Barrett. But yeah, they need Barrett back. They're 0-for in games where he's doesn't play. Or they were 0-for in games he didn't play before last night. And he is, I think, showing improvement so far this season. Soccer news, Camavinga may miss 2 months with the knee sprain with France. That's not good for Real Madrid. Steve Kerr on the ejections. He defended Draymond, says, no way Klay should have been ejected. I mean, you're supposed to do the right thing and stick up for your guys. So I'm not surprised that Steve did that. Rudy Gobert spoke up about the situation too. I suggest you guys check that out. Some college football stuff. James Madison remains ineligible for bowl consideration due to FCS to FBS rules as the league denies the bowl waiver. That's ridiculous. James Madison's undefeated. They belong in a big bowl. And this is the rare situation where you see a team come from the FCS to the FBS, and that's awesome right away. So that's not fair. And then Deion Sanders talks about the jewelry robbery as he says, let's not crucify UCLA recruits who allegedly stole from Colorado. And hockey news, Patrick Kane to sign a deal soon as he's expected to sign by Thanksgiving amid hip surgery rehab. Rangers return unlikely. The Rangers don't need Patrick Kane. They're the best team in their division right now from a record standpoint, and they're great without Patrick Kane. So it's a little bit of a Ewing theory thing going on with him and Tarasenko. And Laviolette's done an outstanding job so far this year. So I do think Patrick Kane's going to sign with the Sabres. I said that since the summer. He makes a lot of sense there. And they can use him. All right, last but not least, my best bet of the day brought to you by FanDuel. I'm going to the NBA, and I'm going to lay the points of the Heat against the Nets. Why is it only 3? I don't know. But that should not be that line. That's ridiculous. Obviously, best bet lost last night with the T-Wolves getting the points against Minnesota. So, Bam and Butler are not questionable or out. And Brooklyn is missing Cam Thomas. Ben Simmons is irrelevant, whatever. It's up to 3.5 now, but I don't care. I'm still laying the half unit on Miami, minus 3.5 against Brooklyn. They're going to win that game by double digits. All right, so that's it for the show. I'll be back tomorrow recapping everything. Look at everything tomorrow. And then the Fab 5 we have to do as well. We have to do the reality TV. We didn't have time to do that today. And then, obviously, I'll drop the baseball off-season predictions show later on today. Have a great day, everyone.